Alright, I'll tell y'all about some gross parts of my rehab, recovery, whatever, while I was still in the hospital. But before I do that, before I get into the gross stuff, I just want to remind everybody, fall is finally here. There's going to be leaves and pine straw and crap all over the road. So as you go out and ride, kind of bear that in mind. You don't want to be leaned too far over in a curve when you find some loose leaves or some pine straw laying around, because you know, when you go down, sometimes you go down hard. So everybody be careful. Hey buddy, this is the goodest boy ever right here. Also, before the actual gross stuff, just as an update, I'm making tiny improvements in my range of motion with my leg and my arm both every day. But last week, toward the end of the week, I developed an infection in this arm, and this hand was swelled up about twice as big as that one. And there was a big knot right back here that was full of infection. And it opened up a couple of holes in my elbow where they'd had staples in. And it's drained like crazy. It's still draining like crazy, but they've got me on antibiotics for it and supposedly are getting the infection cleared up and handled. I hope. The swelling has gone way down. I have to change this thing about 3 times a day, and every time we change it, there's an absorbent pad with a piece of gauze on top of it, and then this stuff that kind of sticks to itself and holds everything together. And the absorbent stuff in the gauze is usually pretty well soaked by the time we take this off. 3 times a day, if that gives you an idea of the volume that's coming out through me. But it is starting to look a little bit better every day, every time we change it. Now, let's start on the gross stuff, and I'm talking like bathroom stuff. Now, let me preface this by saying the rehab facility I was in, you had a room beside it. You shared a bathroom in the middle. You had to lock the other guy's bathroom door so you could have some privacy while you did your thing in the bathroom. Now, the way this room's laid out, the bed is cocked at an angle because that's the only way it'll fit. And it sits right where it's a pain in the butt to get the bathroom door open and have enough room if you are, let's say, confined to a wheelchair like I was. You're wearing a big heavy leg brace, and your knee at that time will not bend at all. So you have to have the footrest put on your wheelchair, but you have to have it up this high. So when you roll around, you're rolling around like this. Now when you're stuck, especially driving a wheelchair one-handed like I have to, because my other arm, this shoulder's not weight-bearing at all. I can't do any kind of effort with it. So your turning circle, when you're like this, is huge. So it's hard to get in and out that bathroom door, and then when you get in the bathroom, there's handrails everywhere, there's a sit-down shower. It's not a huge bathroom, so it's hard to get kind of turned around to a convenient angle where when you stand up, you can only put weight on this foot, and the only way you can move yourself is to kind of scoochy slide on your little foot there. And the first few times you do that, your balance is not accustomed to that. It's way off, and your balance is off from having surgery. You got a heavy cast on this side, a leg brace on that side. It's just a mess. It's hard to do. It's scary as crap because you got this leg jacked up, this arm jacked up. If you were to fall, you're going to get messed up really, really bad no matter which side you fall on. There's not a safe way to fall. So going to the bathroom was a pain in the butt. Well, of course, when I first got out of surgery, there was no way I was getting up and doing anything, so they had a catheter in me. Well, the doctor was pretty adamant one day, just decided, that catheter needs to come out and you need to learn how to pee. Well, the only way I'm going to be able to pee at this point for at least another probably 3 days, I think, is to pee laying down. Well, Well, I can't lay on this side because I've got this big, huge, heavy cast on, and also this knee, if it was up in the air, it'd get all jacked up and it'd be super painful. So the only way I can lay down is to lay on this side or my back, and I'm not going to pee laying on my back because, what if you miss the bottle or you've got more pee than the neck of the bottle will hold with it laying flat. So I'm trying to pee laying on this side, but I've got like a 30-pound cast on this arm, or what feels like 30 pounds. I don't know how much it weighed. It was heavy. But anyway, it's from the shoulder down, and this shoulder won't move, so I'm having to try to balance this arm and keep it from pushing me the rest of the way over. Plus, this laying on this knee was kind of painful too. Basically, I couldn't relax enough to lay there and pee on my side. Well, the doctor was so adamant about me being uncathetered that they wouldn't just put the catheter in and leave it for a few more days until I made some improvement. I got single-use cathetered 4 times. And bear in mind, also, during surgery, I started retaining urine or something. Some reason they were giving me medicine that made me have to pee all the time. All the time. So, add that to the misery list, first of all. Yeah, I got single-use cathetered 4 times before they decided to recatheter me and leave it in for a few more days. If you ever watched House, that time that he had to catheter himself, he laid on the floor and squalled like a little girl and screamed in pain. It's not that bad. It's not comfortable by any means. It's uncomfortable. It's weird. If you have an option, I would pass on it. But if you don't have an option, don't sweat it too much because it ain't the end of the world. By far, it's not the most painful thing ever. But yeah, after, let's see, that's 6 total times having a catheter inserted to me. So when they finally uncathetered me and I was able to scoot myself into the bathroom and pee, my urethra was so bored out from having that tube in there that it was just like it's like turning the water hose on out of your faucet, just everywhere. It's like a huge hole compared to what you're used to. But that's finally kind of gone back to normal, thank goodness. Now let's do the really gross part of the bathroom stuff. Pooping. They had me on so much painkiller that I was kind of locked up. So after surgery, I think it was the 5th day after surgery, I still had not gone. So they came in and they gave me an enema. And that was bad. That was really bad. They put it in there, and I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I thought once they put that, whatever they put in there, it's all going to just like bust the dam and be like, and then it'll be over with. No. They put that stuff in there. And the tech, they call them techs now. I guess he's an orderly. I guess orderly has fallen out of fashion as a word. But anyway, the tech is this older black guy. And I can't remember his name, but if I ever find him, I owe him a good bottle of whiskey for this night. Because he puts the enema in there and says, when you start to feel like you have to go, hit the nurse call button again, I'll be close. Because he knew. And sure enough, I waited just a little while and I frantically reached for that call button. I could not get out of the bed. I could not wheel myself to the bathroom. He couldn't get me out of the bed without risking, things going all over the place. So he had to just put towels under me and let me go right there in the bed. And it's not like when this happens, it's just whoosh, one shot and it's over with. No, this came in waves of it. And I don't know how long it took, but I know that while this was going on, my wife had left the room. A visitor showed up to see me, sat while my wife ate her supper out in another room, and sat with her for a little while, and then just gave up on getting into the room to see me and left without ever even saying hi. So we were in there for a good little while. And every time a wave would stop, he would take whatever he had up under me and kind of pull it and set it aside and put some clean stuff up under me. So, like I say, this dude, I wish I could remember his name, but my brain was still all jacked up at that time. If I ever find him again, I do owe him a good bottle of whiskey. And that's a promise. Because he sure enough earned his check that night, because he was right there with me the whole time. I couldn't have asked for anything, any better care than what I got from that dude. And I feel sorry for the situation that he got forced in that night, because it was bad. Now that I've grossed everybody out and probably lost all my subscribers, I want to go ahead and end that video right there. Y'all, if you ride safe. Everybody have a good day. We'll see y'all later.